I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Printer to Printer with me, Warren Werbitt, Print Whisper, alias. Today I am joined by Rob Proffit of NAPCO USA. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Now that you're on the show, it's so nice to have another person in their early 30s to talk to. Even though you got a hat, you got a full head of hair, because most of the old people got no hair. But before we get into it, tell us a little bit about NAPCO and what it does and whatever you want to tell us.
Sure, absolutely. Well, my dad started NAPCO in 1973 in a 1,800 square foot basement in North Carolina with his two brothers. And they were hand making boxes for Dr. Graybo Pipe Company. And from there, they kind of delved into the rigid world and kind of made their name for themselves for, being able to deliver and have really high quality and having really good customer relationships. And kind of fast forward to today, where I'm at in Alabama, we acquired Vulcan Information Packaging in 2017, which is now also NAPCO. And they were typically a big custom binder manufacturer. And during the acquisition, we had the idea of keeping, a key sectors of that binder business, as well as transitioning to complementing and acting solely as a packaging manufacturer down here as well.
Cool. How big is NAPCO? And you don't have to tell me numbers, how many terms of like people, square footage. You can tell me numbers. I just don't want to make you feel like you have to tell me that.
Well, I think we have just over 200 employees between both locations. We have a 60,000 square foot facility in North Carolina, and we're putting an additional 60,000 on that will be completed by the end of the year. In the Alabama facility, we have 200,000 square feet.
Wow. So business ain't slow for you.
That's right.
Cool. Cool. Okay. So forget the business for a minute, because I could talk print all day. Tell me about you. Before you said you were 34.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Did you go to school? How'd you get into print? What keeps you in print?
Well, I started out at NAPCO as a janitor. That was my first job that my dad gave me.
Called slave labor.
Right. And not only a janitor, I was a janitor on night shift. That's where I started out. And then eventually made my way to the production lines. And then quickly told them that I never want to be a part of this at all. To just remove me from the equation. I went to school and then went to the military. I spent my time at SEAL Team 10, medically retired in 2019. And here I am after saying that.
How long were you in the military?
I joined in 2011.
Wow. Cool. And what were you doing there? I didn't hear you before.
I was a Navy SEAL. I was at SEAL Team 10 on the East Coast.
SEAL Team. No kidding. So I'm surprised you didn't go into motivational speaking. Isn't that what a lot of SEALs do?
Yeah, that's kind of, no books, no motivational speaking, no movies. I'll leave that to the other guys.
All right. You can tell me the stories offline.
There we go.
Cool. So you gave up that, you got into print. When you came back into print, what were you doing?
Well, when I first joined, I was doing like business development and sales stuff. And I was doing that for about a year, just drinking from a fire hose, turned into a sponge. I grew up in manufacturing and production my whole life, but really just learning the technical side of the business, and the intricacies of that. And then moved my family down to the Alabama location about a year and a half ago to run this operation down here.
Cool. There's always something to learn, in this business.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Just when you think you know it, you don't.
Yep.
Right. And what's the average age in the company of the two plants?
Well, I'll say just for I would say over half of our employees that we have down here have been at this company longer than I've been alive. And we have a very unique skill set. We have a very good team down here, knowledgeable team. It's been helpful for me because, what I bring to the table is different. I don't bring the typical technical printing side of the house. What I bring to the table is
killer ideas.
Right. At least initially it was like, hey, I know how elite teams work. I know how to build them. I know how to get them to execute, very specific goals and to keep the gas pedal on. That's kind of what I brought to the table. And then I used all the experience and knowledge, really tapped into that to help me, what I was lacking on the technical side.
Cool, cool. Yeah, for sure. The military's got to give you, if nothing else, the discipline of getting things done.
Right.
Yeah, I think my parents wished I went to the military. Could have used a little discipline, or learn a little process maybe at the same time. But
Well, I could probably still use a little more discipline.
wow, you're 34. You don't want to be too disciplined,
That's
right?
right. Never.
Cool. What do you like most about the whole print packaging thing?
Man, kind of what we highlighted earlier, that it's always new. We just made, probably one of the reasons I'm on the show now is we made a big investment in the MGI and the KM1 and a compact coder, to our whole little digital department. We saw a big future in that. And, there's been a big learning curve for us because, in the 43-year history of the company, we were never printers.
Right.
So this is very new to us. And then obviously digital embellishment is new to, most everybody.
So I'm gonna just stop you. I'm gonna tell you because I'm gonna correct everybody. You're not a printer. You're a communication specialist.
Communication specialist. I like it.
There's more value and more margin in communication specialist than printer. Somehow the word printer, and just my opinion, is too many people with printer race to the bottom line. Right? Yep. Communication specialist really fits the bill because it's the packaging that you're putting on the shelf that's walking out that people are seeing it, right?
Yeah.
It's what gets people excited, and moves product. So that's pretty cool. So, and the MGI machine, that's so you're basically jumping onto something that's pretty new because embellishments seem to be taking off.
Yes.
Right. And how are you? So the machine is in, and you're doing. What are you doing with the machine? You're doing all kinds of colors, foils.
Yeah, our biggest accounts we're doing is in the cannabis and CBD space, and they're always pushing us to the limit and the max to be more innovative because that's that industry right now. That's really how they've decided to set themselves apart on the shelves.
Which is kind of funny because half the people going into the store can't see.
Right.
Right. But from a distance and in a fog, you can load the silver that's raised standing off the box.
That's right.
Or if they can't see, I guess when it's all that raised foil and embossing and lamination, it's kind of like a little braille-like. So even with your eyes closed, red and foggy, you can make out the sativa.
Yeah, at least they got the feeling for sure.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty good place to be. Do watch getting paid by your customers because from what I hear, as exciting as it is, there's not a lot of people making a lot of money in the cannabis. There's a few people in a few areas, but just whatever. See what
right. It is definitely, it's a tough space. It's kind of the wild, wild west, and it's booming. But you're exactly right. No, it is a tough, tight space for sure.
Well, I think part of the whole industry, and we won't talk about the whole industry, the whole thing, but the whole show, but part of the industry is for all the people my age that have been around, right? When everybody was puffing and doing whatever they were doing, it's kind of like when alcohol became legal. Now that it's legal, I'm like, oh my God, you can go to the store and buy it. I still rather support the local guy. But anyways, it's so cannabis is a good one for the embellishments. What else?
We've tried really on some box wrap. The kind of limitations on the machine is the lightweight paper that we like to use on our box wrap. We have to be very careful with the number of passes we go on the MGI.
Right,
but
dries up the paper.
Right. For our box wraps, doing a lot of different sleeves. That machine really excels on SBS, 18 point, some of that thicker material. So really on the folding carton and some sleeves on the outside of packages that we do is really where we're is our most success that we have.
And you guys have a big sales team?
Yeah, right now our vice president of sales, Joe DuBois, just started officially last week. He's been with the company for a few years now. He was a director of business development and now the VP of sales. So he's really out at the forefront right now, managing the sales team, building it out, adding new people, and really driving that initiative for us.
And so how old is your sales force?
it
Like,
was,
are the salespeople have all been there 30 years too?
yeah, our sales force is old. We don't really have a lot of, as you said, the younger generation and the
Right.
younger, we
So,
don't have that yet.
so what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing to entice some of the younger folks? Because I don't want to be mean, but the older guys, they could drop off at any moment.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the, really our initiatives right now is we're kind of restructuring and building out our sales is looking at that and bringing on new young talent, and it's really restructuring the way things are done, because the younger folks are kind of changing the landscape of how businesses operate. You can't get away with that cookie cutter model that that's been in place for so many years. So we're having to kind of navigate that and restructure that to get those high level talent folks in
So
the
I'll
house.
make a suggestion to you. When you're bringing people in to talk to and show them around and vet them and all that, make sure that you're doing it and not the old folks. And by the way, I always joke the old folks. The old folks, people don't realize it, but I'm not so young either. But it's all about attitude. But in talking to some other people and some older folks in business who said, I don't know why we can't keep young people in our place. And I said, I don't want to be mean, but maybe you should stop talking to them because they don't, not only because they don't relate to you. And I try to learn a lot of stuff from my kids. My kids are 27 and 23. And, they say, oh, you think you're so cool, Dad? And I'm like, I am. Thank you. I said, your friends like me. They go, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But everybody likes everybody else's parents and kids, right?
Yeah,
But you got to find a way to know who they are and what they want and how you're going to work, because all of the old ways in which we used to do things and run, it's not valid anymore,
no,
right? Period. I mean, I'm sure your father will tell you when he started and he was building. I mean, he had salespeople that was commission only. If you
yeah,
think, if anybody, and some of the elders still think you could do that, but if you think you're going to entice someone to come in and sell for you by putting them on commission, it ain't
not
going to
gonna happen.
happen,
No
right?
chance.
No chance. I mean, I wouldn't do it today,
No, I wouldn't
right?
either. I wouldn't either.
Right. No, exactly. So little things like that, and you got to just make it a little bit more fun. I know that I know that a lot of people think print is dirty, but the truth be told, as you're purchasing new equipment, people are getting new equipment. It's not dirty. It's like a video game now,
Yeah,
right? Ink's
yeah,
coming in canisters, sitting on top of the print units, and then folders are push button. You're not even getting the same paper cuts as you used to because everything's a stack, a cut, a move, a push a button, a fold, and out the door it goes,
yeah.
right? So it's pretty cool. What would you like to see happen there, or how would you like to see things happen?
Well, I think it really continue what we're doing. That's one thing I told my dad when I joined on, was that I'm a little different. I beat to my own drum kind of deal, and I knew that I was going to come in and shake up some of kind of those old set in the stone ways. And one thing that I think all the employees would say about the company is we've always been kind of a mom and pop shop. Even as we
The
grow,
mentality, right? The mentality.
right, and we want to continue. We've set really big goals for ourselves, but we never want to that big business, big corporate America, big government, whatever you call it, is repulsive to me. And and then no matter how big, like I said, we set big goals for ourselves. No matter how big we go, that's one thing. As long as I'm involved, we'll always have that mom and pop shop feel, and not. We won't ever treat our employees like cattle, just putting them in and stamping them in the back. And that's just not how we do business. And it's served us well throughout these tough times. Everyone's had labor problems, and we've been able to keep everyone, which is important. It's because of how we operate here. And we've been able to attract some people because of that as well.
Cool. Listen, I always say big is big, big is not better.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah,
I think we all know that. So if you can keep a mom and pop shop mentality, I think the customers will just love it.
Yeah.
As long as they're not. So two things. One, as long as when you answer the phone, you don't say who is it, and then you come back and say sorry, they're not here or busy.
Right.
That's an old time screen call.
Yeah, that's right. That was the original screening phone calls.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, let me check if they're here. No, they don't want to talk to you, so they told me to tell you that you're not here. They're not there. Yeah, and you got to just make everybody feel warm and have good events and keep people together. It's Cool. Anything you don't like about what you do? Now, your father's probably listening, so be truthful.
Well, I will say one thing that I've had to get used to is it's a different human element than what I was used to, in the military, especially, in the area that I was, like how, um, really how we dealt with each other and the expectations, and it was very cut and dry, and the levels of expectation were very high, and there was no room for to budge. Like that was
Well,
the
you're playing with people's lives over there, right?
and
Or wherever
right.
there is. Probably can't tell me because it's top secret, but you're
That-
probably in a fold. You're probably in a folder in Mar-a-Lago in Florida on a couch.
right. That's one thing that I knew that, or I didn't really know coming in, but I learned very quickly that hey, I have to taper that mindset, maybe smooth up around the edges, and really the human psychology approach to of how I went about things and how I dealt with people had to be different than what I was kind of immersed in for that time when I was in.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So aside from the MGI, did you buy a new digital press as well to go along with the MGI, or you had digital equipment?
No, we bought the
Oh,
KM1
the KM1, right? You said that. Sorry.
and the
And
MGI.
and how's that working out? The KM1.
It's been good. The KM1 has been great so far. Our customers love it. We've had some really good events where we bring the customers in for press approvals and for color matches, and they've just been really impressed. We have a really great operator. We're very blessed to have the operator that we have. And man, they come in and they want to make a change. He dials it in, shoots it out. First try, they sign off. It's just a good experience for us. The customer builds confidence, in their eyes in us. And, they get to see, the high level that he operates at and the confidence he has on that machine. So it's a good little department to be able to show off and have customers come in. And since it's all digital, you can just kind of jam with them live on that. Like, hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? Hey, let's show them this. And, it just kind of blows your mind.
Yeah, and every proof or every design they want to see is what they're going to get.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about it. It's would you say that your salespeople, and it's probably a tough question maybe, but are they selling value or are they selling just the price?
Definitely value.
All of them? You
Well,
want to
yes.
call anybody out by name? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but to your point, it's definitely been a shift that mentality has to shift, because before it, especially in print, typically it's all been price and getting beat down by price. And
Well, that's
changing
why,
that dynamic has been tough.
sorry, that's why I say we're communication specialists and not printers,
Yes.
right? Because you have to. There's a whole paradigm shift in your thinking. And when you're going to talk to customers about the embellishment, you also have to be talking about statistics, because all these surveys out there that show us and teach us that creative design, embellishments on a shelf in terms of packaging, those products move out quicker than the ones that are just flat.
Yep.
Right. So, I always remember, you always have to tell the customer, listen, yes, it's more expensive, but if you sell more of them, you're making more money. Why are you looking at what the cost is? And when you sell out and have to buy more, that means things are really good.
Yep.
Right. I always tried to get into the heads of people that I was selling, to turn the conversation from the unit cost to the benefit cost
Yep.
afterwards.
That's right.
Right. Because otherwise everything is price, price, price. Yet most people buying don't buy the cheapest stuff when they go out and to buy, right? They buy what they like. Whatever
Right.
you like is usually costs something. So
Yep.
it's like an all over the place thing. But so I'm do you know Kevin Abergel?
Yes. Yep.
Well, MGI, hello. Well, formerly MGI.
Yep.
So I've teamed up with Kevin, and we've got a company called Tactiful. And
Yes.
what we're doing is we're doing exactly what you're doing. We want to work with companies like yours and help them learn, the value of it at the top level, ownership, because
Yep.
the owners always need to be involved in whatever initiatives are being taken.
Yes.
My experience is if the owners are not involved, no one below will continue running with the torch.
That's exactly right.
Right. So we're trying to get in with owner level to talk about what it is, the benefits of it, the value of it. And then the hardest part is doing the shift with the people working for you to understand what it is. I mean, a lot of the old time folks, when we're used to selling offsets, 5, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 jobs. Digital could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, right? But it's bought more often. The ability to change up is more. That's what all the value is. You could change on a flip. You buy 50,000 boxes. You're not buying another box till you use them up.
That's right. That's right.
Right. And then that's always, what's the cost of the inventory on the floor? So with Kevin, we're just looking to really kick some ass and ignite this industry to our industry. Actually, this is what I say a lot of stuff all the time, but for me, the world of print, when I got into it, what I really liked about it as a sales guy, every single person that I would meet in business in some form or another has a need for print, right? And I don't like to break down the classifications of print, because somewhere along the way, people started talking about digital sheets and then labels. To me, print is print. You need a printed pad, you need a brochure, you need a box, you need a t-shirt. It's print. But without print, nobody can run their business.
That's right. Print is powerful. And to your point, and kind of the whole tactful team is it's powerful, because I even catch myself getting enamored by, they talk about being able to, Kevin talks about if you get them to pick up the package, how much it increases the likely to buy. And, I'll find myself looking at a store, and I'll pick up something and be enamored with the package, and find myself like thinking this is a better product just because of the packaging. And I know, and then I catch myself and I'm like, hold on. I know there's the same strategy that I use when I talk to my customers, and it's getting me, and I even know the behind the scenes of it.
Yeah, listen, this even works as one of those sun reflectors in the old days if you needed it, right? Look at the shine in my face. It's all cool. But like all this stuff, this is the ooh and the awe.
Yep.
People don't want the flat. They want the ooh and the awe. So I think it's great. Listen, I mean, I know for sure, Kevin and I, if you ever need any help, we'd love to come down there. And I like to come down there and just take a look at the place. Just looking at the outside of the building looks huge in Alabama.
Yeah, we'd love
you drive a golf cart around?
No, I need to get one. That little Segway or something.
I was going to say, or a Segway. But yeah, so so the MGI, when you got into that, whose doing was that? Was that your father's? Was that your uncle's?
It was really
idea.
It was really customer driven. It was really account driven.
Really?
I guess one of our biggest customers really wanted to, that's in the cannabis space we work with, that could really go after those accounts, really saw the value in that, and really wanted to drive it like, hey, this can set us apart. This can open doors for us. This can kind of get us to the next level where we need to be, or to be able to offer this to our customers. So it was really with the partnership through them that kind of led us down that road to our whole digital initiative.
Wow, cool. So you put the machine in, you have some experience. What would you suggest to other communication specialists looking at the machine? Would you have any suggestions for them?
There's definitely a learning curve, and you have to know. What we found is you have to have a very specific business model and business plan in place of how you're going to use it. And, have a lot of those, especially if they're with current customers, have those conversations with them on the front end of about, what it's going to bring to the table, and how it's going to change things, on a good thing for them as far as options, but as far as pricing.
Cool. Yeah. Oh my God. It's, again, I'm going to go back to the salespeople. Are they enjoying it? Do they like it? Do they fight it?
They love it. They love it because a lot of them say that it sells itself. They just slide, like you just did with that tactful sheet. They just slide it across the table, and, not all sales obviously are that easy, but there's some where they're just like, I want it.
So, sorry, I'm just not today, but if you're good with it, I would love to have one or two of them on an interview with me. I'd love to talk to an old guy who's absorbed the new way and liking it and embracing it, because I think that would be good. Without giving away too many secrets, to encourage others to know. Yeah. Right. Because it's definitely a way for print company owners to get away from the race to the bottom line.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
was always, when I was in print and manufacturing, we would do new stuff all the time. And it was really just to be different, keep it fresh in the plant. So it's always changing, but also keep the salespeople fresh and the customers by having more to show them.
Yep.
Right. I used to say to the sales folks, don't go by to ask them if they have anything to quote. Go by to show them what we did. If you're there on a regular basis, if they see you regularly, if they're comfortable and you have a good relationship with, and don't bring donuts because those days are over. You got to bring like wraps and salads. Everybody's going healthy today. But when you go in and you show them what you're doing, they're going to say, oh, by the way, I have something I want to show you. I have a project, because you'll be top of mind.
And that's what we do. They'll reach out before they go to. That's what's great about the digital equipment. They'll have a big meeting. They're going to go see a customer. They'll call us up and be like, hey, go to the marketing department. Like, hey, let's, we'll get their names. We'll get, we've done stuff we've got pictures of their dogs, you name it. And we'll be like, hey, let's just make some cool stuff for them, make it personalized. We'll send it out to them. And then, that's how they start off their meeting, is just showing them this very cool personalized stuff. It really has nothing to do with the business or what the business we're going after, but just showing the capabilities of the machinery and having that personal touch as well.
Yeah. And you get to so I just remembered something that we used to do. We used to do a calendar every year. And I got the idea from Burton Meyer, my friend Jenny. She's in print. And what it was we would do a calendar after I saw hers. The calendar that we did was we would ask our customers to enter this contest and submit any pictures they wanted. And then we would take the pictures, put it in the calendar. So have a regular calendar, but you'd have a 12-month calendar. And the winner would get a couple $100 if his or hers was on the cover and whatnot. But what a great idea to engage the customer. But now I'm thinking, if you have those images, you could embellish them up a little.
Yep.
Right. And we were getting pictures from people that weren't even our customers because they heard about it or they sent it in. So and at the end, when you print them out and you go and you give them out to the people, for the ones who's on the cover, they're like, oh my God. For the people inside, they're like, oh, cool. People that didn't get in are like, oh my God, what a nice calendar. I'm going to have to do a better picture next year.
Yeah.
I always used to try to want to find all the other things out there to engage with people. That's not about work. Another thing is, and just because the size of your company and the people, Christmas. I remember one Christmas, I made a snowman's kit. Took a metal tin. We printed the label on the outside. We printed the label on the top. And inside, I went out and I bought a scarf. We had a guy, scarf and hat manufacturer client. So I bought scarves. I bought hats. I bought plastic carrots and buttons for eyes and hot chocolate and marshmallows. And it was really go out to I think we did 200. It was go out to the customers and say, hey, happy holidays. Go home and build a snowman with your kid.
I like it.
Right? We all have so little time now. Who really wants to go out at night with me?
Yeah.
Right? Go to a hockey game and rub knees. Like, go rub knees with your kid. Like, right? Just anything to be engaging with them and do it. Anyways, cool. So we're at that time now where I'm going to say to you, anything you want to add, let anyone know before I cut you off?
No, I'm good. I really appreciate you having me on. Like I said, I'm a sponge. I'm not only new to this space, I'm new to this whole print world. Or what was the name? What was your? What's the name?
We're media. Oh my God, communication specialists.
Communication. I'm very new to being a communication specialist. So I'm a sponge. I'm learning. That's what's fun about this industry. It's always changing, and there's a lot of fun people in this space, and they're fun
look at me. No.
with, and so it's been a lot of fun so far.
Cool. Are you going to Printing United next week, or when this airs? It might have been last week, but are you going to Printing United?
I won't be able to make it. I have something else I'm going to, but Joe will be there.
Okay, cool. So I'll find Joe or tell Joe to find us. And that's cool. So listen, first of all, super duper pleasure meeting you. Really excited that we've got somebody young, energetic, and passionate about what they're doing and the whole family business. Super happy to hear that you have some elders that are engaging and loving new technology and what's going on. That could only make it better when you do find some younger people, right?
Yep.
I'll be excited in showing them. So, wow, I hope when I'm out in Alabama and North Carolina, I'm going to make it a point to go by, and I'll see you if it's Alabama. I guess your father
Yeah,
if I'm over there.
yeah, for sure. Anytime, we'd love to have you down.
But yeah, listen, you could always hire me and Kevin to come down and help you. We do good
That's
work.
right.
But yeah, all kidding aside, really just like thank you, congratulations for everything you're doing. Thank you for your past service. Even though I'm not American, we have to thank all the military people who go out there. Happy you got out alive. Doesn't look like your face has any blemishes, so you did okay. And it's all good. So we're going to get you back on, do another interview with you in a little while, see how it's going. And do let me know if you have any salespeople that would be interested in having a little communication that we could spread around for the younger people to see that it's really a good industry. And if you're smart, you make the changes and you roll forward.
Sounds good.
That's cool. Cool. To everybody, if you made it this far, I sure hope you did. I enjoyed the conversation. I always enjoy the conversation. But thank you for watching. Remember, go to my merch site, buy a hoodie. Fall's coming up. For everybody, Warren Werbitt, what they think. I love print.